Good evening, future Bolts and Broncos. Welcome to Ridge Community High School's studio in our Mass Communications Department. I'm Angela Clark, principal at Ridge Community High School, and we'd like to welcome you to our mission transition. I'm here with Principal Douge from Davenport High School.
Hey, Bolts and Broncos. Ms. Clark, thank you for letting me be here. It's a great opportunity for our schools to get together, do a little pre-game rivalries to start the next school year. So freshmen, ninth graders, get ready for a great show.
High school will be some of the most formative years of your life. You will make friends, you will laugh, you will cry, you will want to give up, but you will experience unsurpassed moments of joy and accomplishment. You will look back on your 4 years of high school and wish that you had done things differently. Perhaps most importantly, you will look back on your 4 years of high school and realize that those were the good old days that helped shape you into the young adult you have become. Now you're getting ready to embark on this journey. Fall of 2022 seems like a long way away, even in 2020/2021 time, but it's just around the corner and we'll be here in a flash. High school will be what you make of it, no matter which school you attend, Ridge Community or Davenport High. There will be programs, clubs, activities, and organizations where you can find a sense of belonging.
Hey, future Broncos. I'm Mr. Douge, the principal of Davenport High School. It may not look like it just yet, but we will be ready to open our doors to you on August 10th, 2021. We'll be welcoming 9th, 10th, and 11th grade classes with our first senior class graduating in 2023. Current 11th grade students at Ridge will stay enrolled at Ridge and graduate with the class of 2022. Students who live north of the I-4 corridor will generally be zoned for Davenport High School, while students who live south of the I-4 corridor will generally be zoned for Ridge Community High School. No matter which school you're zoned for, you can be rest assured that you'll have the core academics, and each school will have a plethora of career academies that you can choose from, each offering industry certification. More about those programs a little bit later on.
Hey, future Bolts. I'm Miss Clark, the principal of Ridge Community High School. We're excited to welcome you to our campus next fall. We have a fantastic team in place to help make the next chapter of Bolts Nation one to remember. Students who will be attending Ridge Community High School will have access to the same great programs that we've developed over the last 16 years of our school's history. Each day that you come to school, it's important to remember that we are all here for the purpose of learning. Although our schools offer a ton of great programs and activities to get involved in, it's important to remember that you are a student first. It's important to do what you need to do to ensure that your grades are up and on track for graduation. It will be here before you know it. As a Ridge Community High School Bolt, you are expected to be prepared for class and here for the purpose of learning. You will be challenged to push yourself past what is easy and comfortable and challenged to achieve higher than expectations. Ridge Community High School Bolts strive for excellence in and out of the classroom and will earn respect because they respect others and they respect the community they serve.
Similarly, it's important for every Bronco that steps foot on the DHS campus to graduate with a standard diploma. Davenport High School students will meet that goal with positive relationships with other students and staff, being able to make connections to their learning with life, and taking responsibility for their actions. Davenport High School is going to be a willing resource for students to get beyond any obstacle to get to graduation. It's also critically important that students get involved as well. At both schools, opportunities to get involved will be plentiful, whether it be through on-campus volunteering, participating in the school advisory committee, or just simply being an active participant in your child's education.
Even though parents generally like to give their older students a bit more leeway, it's important to still use our Focus Parent Portal to keep track of your student's academic progress. If you don't have Parent Portal already set up for your student, the front office at your child's middle school will be able to assist you. Otherwise, the front office staff at both RCHS and DHS can assist you as well come the fall. You can also visit polkschoolsfl.com/parentportal for more detailed information on getting your account set up. As an incoming 9th grade student, you will be able to expect the following requirements to meet the eligibility for a standard diploma. Each student will need 4 English classes, 4 math classes, 3 science classes, 3 social studies classes, a PE class, a fine arts class. There's an online requirement, For a detailed listing of the course requirements for graduation, you can check out our website or the Florida Department of Education.
In addition to the coursework that Ms. Clark outlined, students will also be required to participate in the following state-mandated exams. During your 9th grade year, you can generally expect to participate in the Algebra 1 EOC and the FSA ELA 9th grade reading and writing exam. If you're enrolled in biology or geometry in 9th grade, you can also expect to participate in those EOC exams as well. Students generally must pass the Algebra 1 EOC and the 10th grade English Language Arts Reading and Writing FSA exams in order to graduate with a standard diploma. Specific testing questions can be answered by your student school counselor or your school's testing coordinator.
As we get ready to discuss the options and programs that are available to you at each campus, it's important for students and parents to take some time to talk about educational and career goals. Students and parents should work together to set an academic educational plan that works for you and what you want to do with your future. Your school counselors will be able to help ensure that you are scheduled into the right coursework to help you achieve these goals. Here at Ridge, we are lucky enough to have numerous programs that can help students prepare for their future through industry certification and other college and career-focused programs. At Ridge, students can enroll in one of the following academies. The Elite Education Academy, which gives students the chance to train to be future teachers and through a partnership with Polk State, have the ability to graduate and matriculate directly into Polk State College to earn a bachelor's degree, and then are guaranteed a job with Polk County Public Schools upon successful completion of the entire program. You can also enter the Bolts Construction Academy, where we offer students a chance to earn industry OSHA certification and prepare students for a career pathway in the construction industry. Students learn through hands-on activities and practical project-based learning models. Another option is our Engineering Academy, which challenges students to earn MSSC certification and lays the groundwork for a rigorous coursework of study in the future. Graduates of the program have gone on to study electrical and mechanical engineering at some of Florida's top universities. Students can also graduate with certifications needed to work in entry-level jobs right here in the Central Florida region. Students can also choose our Medical Academy. Students in our Medical Academy train and prepare for future careers in the medical field. Students can earn industry certification in EKG and emergency medical responding. They also earn their CPR certification. Students also can participate in HOSA, which is an extracurricular group that challenges students to enhance their skill sets through competition and continuous professional learning. Another option for our students is Culinary Arts Academy. Students in this program learn the basics of working in a professional kitchen, through the basics of food safety to learning how to whip up gourmet meals. Students will leave with a foundation in restaurant operations and have the opportunity to earn ServSafe certification. Our final academy offering is Veterinary Assisting Academy, RCHS's newest academy, which offers students the opportunity to work with animals and will learn the basics of anatomy and physiology and veterinary health science. Students have the opportunity to become certified veterinary assistants and can graduate the program equipped to work in a veterinary office. Graduates of this program have gone on to study veterinary science and work in local vet clinics. In addition to our numerous academies, we also have career and technical programs in business marketing and mass communications. Finally, we have a performing and fine arts program with pathways in theater, dance, orchestra, sound production and design, band, chorus, piano, 2D, 3D, and digital graphic arts. No matter what your interest, we have a program, course, or pathway for you here at Ridge Community.
At Davenport High School, we'll have opportunities for students in the following career and technical academies. In the Academy of Ag Science, Leadership and Technology, students will find programs in horticulture, ag technology, JROTC, modeling and simulation, and digital design. In the Academy of Hospitality and Marketing, students will find culinary, hospitality and tourism, TV productions, and fashion and interior design. In the Academy of Fine Arts, students will find performing arts and visual arts ranging from dance, theater, chorus, all the way to 2D, art 3D, and digital art design.
At both schools, students will be able to take advantage of rigorous advanced placement courses as well as dual enrollment and honors courses. It's important to do the best you can during your 8th grade year, especially on your end-of-course exams. Due to state regulations, part of your 9th grade schedule may be dictated by those exam scores. Although this process isn't fully known yet, in the past, students are placed in courses such as an intensive reading and intensive math based on their performances on 8th grade state-mandated tests. Academics should always come first. Your high school transcript starts when you take high school level courses and will build as you continue your journey at Davenport or here at Ridge Community. It's important to stay engaged and take advantage of some of the opportunities that we have to ensure your success. Here at Ridge Community, we offer programs such as after-school tutoring, both virtually and in person, as well as interventions for struggling students and targeted assistance in student mentoring.
At Davenport High School, we plan to offer support systems for students such as mentoring, tutoring, and other programs designed for academic success. As we have said previously, the best way to ensure success for your student is for you to be an active participant in your child's education. Make sure to opt in to receive emails, phone calls, and other important messages from your child's school. Sign up and regularly use the Focus Parent Portal and make sure to download the RCHS app. Davenport High School will have their very own mobile app coming soon.
We asked some of our students what they thought the keys to being a successful high school student are. Take a look.
What I did in 8th grade to get to freshman year is do my work, get good grades.
Good advice I'd have to say is don't worry too much about being late. Try not to think too much about what other people think of you. It's like moving and stuff, it's a big change for everyone. So just really, everyone's going through the same thing as you are, at least the freshmen are. And don't be intimidated by the new feel of the school and everything going on that you might not understand yet. Just focus on getting good grades, and it's much harder to change them the farther in you are in high school. So just try and set them straight now so you can do better later.
Stay focused, don't let anything distract you, and don't get discouraged. It's really easy to get discouraged because school is hard, it gets hard, especially if you're in honors and all that. It gets hard, it's gonna be a lot of work, but just stay on top of your work. If you fall behind, that's where you get behind. Like if you get behind, it's a wrap. So just stay on top of your work, stay focused, and don't let these boys, don't let these boys distract you at all.
I advise you to get on top of your grades, because or else your GPA is going to drop, and after that, by the time you're a junior, it's going to be super low.
My advice to them is to watch who they be hanging with, because if they hang with the wrong people, they're going to get in a lot of trouble.
To stay out of trouble, and that these deans here really do keep an eye on you, and that the education here and the teachers and how they teach it is really amazing, and I think you guys will really like it here. And you know, it's just fun learning. There are always activities you can do.
In addition to the student perspective, we also asked some of our teachers how parents can help students be successful in high school. Take a look.
One thing that I wish I understood when I came into high school was knowing how to ask questions appropriately. Sometimes just stating that I don't understand or I don't get it doesn't help the teacher or help others even in the room that might have the same question to get to the same answer. So explaining your question a little bit more deeply and thoroughly, it would be a lot more help to not only yourself, but to your fellow peers and to your teachers.
8th grade students going into 9th grade, they need to really take initiative with their teachers. They need to introduce themselves, they need to make themselves available for tutoring if they need any help, any extra help, or have any extra questions. And most importantly, in class, just ask those questions. Teachers are there to help. So if you're not understanding something, just ask the question, and the teacher's going to be more than willing to help you with anything that you need.
What they need to know is what they should have probably already been practicing, is just be on time, attendance in school. You got to be here to learn, and one of the best pieces of advice I can give a young student is, if you don't know, ask.
In order to be successful in high school, you must read. You don't have to read just textbooks. Anything that you're interested in, anything that keeps your attention, you want to read more of it. Whether it's about sports, whether it's about hobbies, crafting, anything you like, the more you read, the more you expand your vocabulary, the more you expand the way you see sentence structures and things like that. It'll help improve your FSA scores, your classroom assignments for your English classes, as well as your social studies assignments.
Welcome, Future Bolts. We are here for you to do the best you can. And some of the ways that we suggest for you to do that is, number one, put the phone and the social media away. Number two, don't be afraid to ask your teachers questions when you get here. I know you're overwhelmed, but I find a lot of times I ask them if they have questions, and I walk around, everybody says, no, you're here to learn. You don't come in knowing what you need to know, so don't be afraid to ask. There's no dumb questions, okay? We're here to teach you, and we enjoy being able to spend time with you. You really need to focus on your grades more than all the social things going on in school. You need to study. Don't get behind. That's really bad, is to get behind, and then you try to make up and you can get discouraged. Just give it your best attempt. The best you can do is the very best you can do. The biggest thing I say, like we said before, is the phones. Okay? And stay motivated. Don't get discouraged and ask for help.
I think that one of the most important things that an 8th grader coming into the school as a new 9th grader needs to bring with them is an understanding that they need to take some of the responsibility for their education. They need to come prepared to learn and try to be accountable for their own actions and having the materials they need and not procrastinate. Basically, they have to be ready to sort of face head on the challenges of getting closer to being an adult, and they have to be able to do that themselves. Nobody can really make them do it.
To be successful in high school, 8th grade students should realize that they should want their education just as much as the teachers want to educate them. Meaning, be proactive, come with a great attitude, be enthusiastic about your learning. Your initiative goes a long way with the teacher. If we see that you're trying, we're going to work with you all day.
One of the best ways to stay focused and involved while in high school is to get involved. Each campus will have numerous activities for you to get involved in, including National Honor Society, FFA, JROTC extracurricular programs, student government, drama, art club, key club, and many more. Our clubs and organizations are growing each year. Although the COVID pandemic has thrown a wrench in the way our school involvement typically works, many of our clubs have been meeting virtually. Speaking of COVID, it's important for all students and parents to stay tuned to the Polk County Public Schools media outlets for important updates as we prepare for the next school year. No one knows for sure what the future will hold, but rest assured that Polk County Public Schools is working diligently with local and state health officials to implement the guidelines that are established by the experts. We ask that all students follow these guidelines for the safety and well-being of themselves and others.
That's right. The safety and well-being of students and staff is the top priority. As we venture into this new school year, it's critically important to keep everyone healthy and that we follow all mandated guidelines, both in the classrooms and on the sports field. Speaking of which, we're excited to announce the fall athletic offerings at Davenport High School. This fall, you'll have the opportunity to try out for football, volleyball, cross country, and other sports.
Ridge Community, we offer our usual menu of fall athletics, which include volleyball, football, swimming, cross country, and golf. All of these sports typically start their seasons before students return to campus, so please make sure that you are staying up to date by following our athletics on our official Instagram pages, which are ridgecommunityhigh.official and Ridge High Athletics on Instagram. It's important to remember that in order to be eligible to play athletics, you must meet the minimum GPA and grade requirements to have a current physical and consent paperwork on file with your school's athletic director. For those students who have aspirations of playing college sports, it's also important to make sure that you get started on your transcript early by earning those good grades in all of your core academic areas. We will be communicating further updates to our athletic programs for the 21-22 school year as we receive them on our website and the official Instagram pages.
Last but not least, the question remains how you can get started planning for next year. It all starts this year by preparing to choose your 9th grade course schedule. Over the coming weeks, both Ms. Clark and myself will be reaching out to our feeder schools to highlight exactly how this process will work. As we said earlier, it's important for students and parents to sit down and talk about the educational plan and coursework that works for your family. Our job as educational institutions are to offer a wide variety of coursework that can meet the needs of our communities. It's up to you as students and parents to decide how to take advantage of those opportunities.
We will always do our best to honor your students' course requests. However, please note that not all requests can be fulfilled. We encourage all parents to keep an open dialogue with your child's school. I know that I'm extremely excited for next school year. Although this year has been challenging, our students, staff, and community have been resilient. As this pandemic subsides and our world starts to recover and return to some semblance of normalcy, you can expect both Mr. Douge and myself to hit the ground running. I believe Ridge Community High School is a place where students can achieve great things academically and be a part of a great community. They will have the freedom to grow creatively and to push themselves to be the best version of the person they were meant to be.
I believe that Davenport High School will be a place that our students and staff will be proud of in setting positive experiences and traditions for years to come.
No matter which school you will attend next fall, be confident that you have a hard-working, highly qualified admin team and staff that are working tirelessly to prepare for your students' arrival. Remember to follow Ridge Community High School on all of our social media platforms. We have been working hard to ensure that communication is streamlined and easily available for all students, parents, and stakeholders. To steal a phrase coined by Mr. Douge himself, we're just getting started. Onceable, alwaysable.
That's right, we're just getting started, and there are more great things to come for both schools. Make sure to stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms at Broncos DHS.
Good evening once again, Bolts, and thank you for joining us this evening. We hope that the video that you just finished watching answered some of your questions concerning Davenport High School and Ridge Community High School. I'd like to give a shout out to our Mass Communications Department, our Fine Arts Department, Mr. Cleveland, and a student who composed and wrote the music that was the background to tonight's video. So we want to give those folks a great shout out for producing that for us so that it could air this evening. We are also going to be accepting some live question and answers from you all this evening. But first, on the description of tonight's broadcast, there was also a form for our Title I program. Asking for some parent involvement. It doesn't commit you to anything, but just that you watched tonight. So if you could fill that out for our Title I program, be greatly appreciated on behalf of both of us. Also, I'd like to give a shout out, as this is live, I just received word that congratulations go out to our Lady Bolts soccer team who defeated Freedom High School tonight 5-0 to win that district championship. So congratulations to our Lady Bolts. Now we are going to be accepting some questions for both Davenport High School and Ridge Community High School. So we have a panel sitting across from us that will be feeding us those questions. So if you do have questions for us this evening, we ask that you type them into that Google form, which is also there on the description of the program for tonight. And again, thank you for tuning in. Our first question.
Okay. First question will be for Mr. Douge. At Davenport High School, what number of students will be attending the first year for each class?
So the question being, how many students will be at Davenport High School for our first year? We are projected to have about 1,600 to 1,700 students the first year. A lot of parents and students don't know that we will only be grades 9 through 11. We will not have a senior class the first year. Seniors at Ridge, rising seniors at Ridge, will stay at Ridge. They will have transportation, meaning if they're at Ridge, if they are zoned for Davenport and they're at Ridge for their senior year, if they do not have transportation to get to school, PCPS will be providing them transportation to get to school. So projected to be about 16 to 1,700 students the first year. No senior class first year. The very next year we will have our first senior class at Davenport High School.
Okay. Our next question is for each of you to respond to. Will each high school be offering a full range of AP classes, and when will those begin? Ms. Clark, we'll start with you.
Okay. Yes, Ridge Community High School will still offer AP course offerings. Again, it's based on the amount of high school credits that you have and follows the articulation agreement with Polk State College. In terms of that, but that's dual enrollment as well as AP. But AP course offerings we will have a full array of those. Hopefully, we'll get through the COVID times that we've had where we've had to limit some of our course offerings, and we'll be back to our full array for next year.
At Davenport, will we offer AP? Absolutely. We will have AP courses next year. Ninth graders, if you are an FSA 3 or higher, more than likely you will be enrolled into AP Human Geography your ninth grade year. Depending on how hiring goes for us at Davenport High School the first year, we should be able to offer the wide range of AP courses and dual enrollment for our first year next year.
Okay. This question is also for both schools. How will students request the courses that they want to take at each of the high schools? They're incoming ninth graders, so they want to know how they request those.
Okay. For Ridge Community High School, as we get into the school year a little bit further this year, and we get the actual roll-ups for each school, then we will be sending out surveys to the middle schools and our feeder schools, for students to register for those classes. So they'll have a course request form that's electronic that parents and students can sign up for using that. So that goes right to our school counselors so that their schedules can be generated for next year.
Because we are such in a unique situation being a first-year school, I definitely plan on visiting some of our feeder schools in the coming weeks. We've already reached out to some of your feeder schools at the middle school level, so expect to see me on your campus. We're going to do a lot of what Ms. Clark is doing as well. We're going to have a Google Doc ready where students will be able to select their electives for next year.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Douge, at Davenport High School, will any major areas of the school still be incomplete at the start of fall term 2021? And
that's a really, really good question. The question was, will any major areas on our campus not be ready for the fall term? Our construction crew that we are working with right now, they're actually doing double shifts. There's a day crew working. There's also a night crew working to make sure that we open on time. Do we anticipate having some areas of the school not available for students and staff. It's possible, but as of right now, we are definitely hoping, and we are definitely ready to have as many of our buildings ready for our students, classrooms. One of the things that we stressed is having, classrooms ready, obviously the cafeteria, major areas, our gym, so I think we'll be in good shape when we get to August, and most of our campus should be ready for our students.
Okay. Ms. Clark, the next question starts with you. How will the opening of the high school impact the instructional staff currently at Ridge Community High School?
That's a good question.
Okay. So obviously there's still, time to see about our staffing for next year, is what this question addresses. But our staffing is based on the amount of students that we serve on our campus. So obviously our enrollment is projected to go down. Currently, we are at about 3,100 students on our campus. It will most likely go down to about 2,200 to 2,400. And so therefore, we are expected some staff, to transition out of Ridge. But that number or the process has not been, given to us at this time.
Okay. Mr. Douge, at Davenport High School, will software engineering, coding, or cybersecurity be part of the computer modeling program?
We are definitely putting a large emphasis on the programs that we offer in the field of technology, from ag technology to the modeling and simulation offerings that we're going to have. Now, those specific courses, a lot of that will have to do, again, with the hiring that we can do in the next few months. If there's an opportunity to hire qualified staff in the next few months, we can go back, look at our course offerings, and if there's an opportunity there to add, those electives in our master schedule, why not? That program it's very valuable, especially being on this I-4 corridor, and there's definitely a lot of value in those courses. So we'll have to circle back to that and see if that's something that we can do based on our staffing.
Okay. Ms. Clark, how would I know what the graduation requirements are for my new 9th grade student?
Ultimately, if those will be posted on our website, so the Ridge Community High website under the Counseling or Students tab. You can also go to the Florida Department of Education in order to get those as well, for a summary of those 24 credits and the testing requirements that you would need to graduate.
Okay, this will be for both schools to respond to. Will rising freshmen be able to take FLVS classes this summer?
If they are looking to accelerate, in terms of getting a jump on their classes, then of course, we encourage that in terms of that. But again, you'll be working with your school counselor to see what your goals are. If it's early graduation, if it's something of that nature where you may want to be early admissions your senior year into Polk State College, then we'd be looking at those course offerings, in order to supplement that.
I encourage it also. Some of the next major hiring that we're going to do at Davenport High School are our school counselors. If you're a current 8th grader going into 9th grade and you get the right advice about taking the right course, you don't want to take just any course, but if you take the right course, I know the online requirement is still a graduation requirement. Taking the right course that suits you, we'll make sure your counselors get that on your record when you guys enroll at Davenport High School.
Okay. The next question either one of you can respond to. What are the enrollment requirements for a new student with no records in Florida schools? So starting into high school, but they haven't been in a Florida school.
Ultimately, we would just need transcripts from, where your previous state or Puerto Rico or wherever you're coming into Florida from. showing your middle school records, and so on. And then obviously we'd be looking for the 2 proofs of residency and address for either school in terms of that. So those are the big, major requirements, as well as, health records, shop records, and things of that nature in order to enroll.
The next question is for Mr. Douge. At Davenport High School, what sports will be offered, and are those available to all grades?
Probably the number one question that we've been getting at Davenport High School during this transition time is, are we going to offer sports our first year? And the question is, the answer to that question is absolutely. We will have sports. They will start in the fall. We're currently in the process of hiring and interviewing football coaches, our first head football coach. So fall sports, you're looking at football, swimming, cross country, volleyball. What am I missing?
Golf.
Golf is a fall sport. So we're a traditional high school. We will have sports our first year. What grades can participate in sports? Every grade can participate in sports. Even though we won't have a senior class, I encourage, if athletics are your interest, please get involved, be a part. And if ninth graders come out, we will have those fall sports ready. We'll have spring sports. We'll have winter sports. So we'll be ready.
Okay. And for you, Ms. Clark, will Ridge Community High School continue to have the same sports they have now?
Yes, so all of our sports will still be in full swing in terms of what we are currently offering. So in the fall, very similar, almost exact to what Mr. Douge was describing. So football, volleyball, cross country, swimming, and golf. And one thing that I would like to point out, and it was stated in the video as well, but most of those sports start prior to the school year. So in order to be eligible for those practices, you can even get involved this summer in some summer workouts. So most coaches will have summer conditioning and things of that nature. But what you'll need to do is to make sure that you're enrolled in those schools. All right, so you rolled up to either Ridge Community or Davenport High School. Make sure that you're reaching out to the coach and have that physical paperwork and that consent paperwork on file so that you can participate in those summer workouts. So when August rolls around, you're ready to hit the ground running.
Awesome. All right. I would assume either one of you could respond to this if you have the answer. If a sport is not offered at Davenport High School, can the students join the team at Ridge Community High School?
That is a really good question, and what I will say is if you are a student at Davenport High School and we don't offer that sport, you would not be able to participate at Ridge. There's a lot of law that goes with the FHSAA, so it's almost impossible to cross over and be at Davenport and play at Ridge. Clark, you want to?
Ultimately, it's obviously if you're zoned for certain schools, that applies. And there are certain instances, so say, you go to, Polk Collegiate, then you can play at your home school that you originally zoned for because they don't offer sports at all. So there are instances like that. But
if you're homeschooled. Yeah,
but typically, the way it looks right now for both schools, we'll be offering the same sports.
Absolutely, and being a first-year school, the interest in finding qualified coaches, the interest right now is very high. A lot of people have reached out to me already about coaching various sports. So for us not to have a sport that Ridge currently has, I can't see that happening. Next year I expect us to have the full gamut of athletic offerings at Davenport High School.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to a friendly rivalry.
Go Broncos.
Go Bolts.
Okay, Mr. Douge, Could you please review the program tracks again for Davenport High School?
Sure. We're excited to offer next year at Davenport High School ag technology. In ag technology, you'll find programs in horticulture, ag technology, marketing, hospitality, hotel management, culinary, digital design. Our performing arts programs will be pretty amazing. Getting to see our auditorium built on a day-to-day basis. I'm really getting excited about the different arts programs that we're going to have at Davenport High School. I definitely want to do something like this again. With our Davenport High School community. Probably after spring break, we'll do this once we kind of define what we're doing as far as our different programs a little bit more. But we're going to be able to offer quite a few different things at Davenport to get the community and our ninth graders excited about.
Okay. And Mr. Douge, this question is also for you. Will there be classes at the new school for learning different languages beyond foreign languages like sign language?
Really good question. Right now, I definitely can tell you that I am making a trip to a few different schools in our county that offer a deaf and hard and hearing program. That is something that is in the works to offer at Davenport High School. As a foreign language, American Sign Language is something that we want to offer our students at Davenport High School. More information about that is coming. The program it's needed, it's important on this side of the county, and we're definitely ready to offer that to our incoming students.
All right. A question that came in, knowing that Ridge Community High School has these courses, someone had asked, does Davenport High School plan on having a veterinarian course? And what about anything medical academy?
Currently, Davenport High School will not be offering a veterinary course or a medical course for our students. Our academies will look somewhat similar, but not completely similar to what Ridge is currently doing. We're going to have different tracks at Davenport to support the East County as a whole. So currently, not right now.
And this is a question for each of you to respond to. Does either school have a Bright Futures coordinator on staff already? And if not, will you?
Currently, I am the Bright Futures coordinator at Davenport High School. Our staff is very small. There's less than 5 of us on our Davenport team. That number is going to grow in the next coming months. So eventually, that position we'll probably look at a lead counselor to handle Bright Futures questions. So it's coming. If you have any questions about Bright Futures, you can email us at davenportsenior@polk-fl.net.
That's the same at Ridge. Our lead counselor, Mr. Hahn, would be the contact for Bright Futures at Ridge Community.
Okay. Another question for each of you to respond to. Is there going to be an online option, or is there only face-to-face for the upcoming year?
Good question.
That's really good.
And we do not know the answer to that at this time. Obviously we're working hard to make it through this year with both the East School and the campus options and so on. So it has not been declared to us or made known to the district that I'm aware of yet. In terms of what those options will be for next year.
Yeah, our district, they've done a phenomenal job of preparing our schools in this weird climate that we're in. If they're asking us to open with multiple options next year, we'll be ready. Ridge, they've done an amazing job this year. I've spent a lot of time here this semester and last semester, and they've done a phenomenal job of giving kids, both options. And it's definitely something that we just don't know, but our district will lead the way.
Okay. A question for both schools as well. Are uniforms required at either school for next year?
For Ridge Community, no. We do have a dress code, and that dress code is found on our RCHS app or on our website, so you can check that out. We did take it before our Student Advisory Committee again this year, just to make sure we're staying with the times, because that's important to us. I mean, because obviously high school is a new time for you. It's your first time without uniforms, but at the same time, we want it to be respectful and tasteful. So, ultimately, we want to make sure that the students are dressed, to respect one another. And so that dress code, kind of, suits to that.
I think our dress code will be do not wear Ridge Community or Haines City colors on the Davenport campus. Just kidding, we will not have we will have dress code, but we will not have a standard uniform. We're going to follow the code of conduct, and our dress code will be outlined as such. So yes, we will have a dress code, but not a uniform.
Okay, great. All right, this question each of you would be able to respond to. What branch of JROTC is going to be offered at Davenport High School? And is this replacing or relocating the program from Ridge?
We are definitely not relocating the amazing Bolts Brigade, the #1 ranked.
Most definitely, our nationally recognized, award-winning champion Bolts Brigade will remain at Ridge Community.
They will remain at Ridge. The branch that we are considering offering at Davenport currently is the Marines. That is still an ongoing discussion. More information to come, but yes, the Bolts Brigade is the nationally renowned, ranked Bolts Brigade will remain at Ridge.
Okay. Either one of you can respond to the next question. If I am zoned for one school but want to enroll in an academy at the other, is this allowed?
Good question. I think you guys handled a little bit of that earlier in the year.
A little bit. I mean, basically, there's an enrollment process for the academy transfers. That took place, it cut off in January. Many of the students that were already enrolled in an academy with us, rolled on up to that. If you were a new student, you had the opportunity to enroll in an academy at Ridge. So the district will be taking a look at those, those that requested those enrollments into our academies, and then they will be obviously awarding those, in terms of, who, based on our enrollment, who gets in and so on.
And another thing, Davenport High School, we're not open to out-of-zone transfers our first year. Our second year, we will be open enrollment. The academy window will open up. We'll follow what Polk does as far as that goes.
Okay. This question will be for each of you to respond to. Are there auditions for the music or fine arts classes?
Davenport, we are a traditional zone public high school. There will not be auditions for our fine arts programs. I know there was some talk of that early on, as the school is being built, but it is not an audition process to be a part of our fine arts program.
In terms of Ridge Community, our fine arts program, obviously there's different performances and things that we will offer throughout the year where there will be auditions for certain parts and different roles in terms of that. But in terms of just enrollment into the programs, there were no auditions.
Okay. This is also for both schools. When do we enroll for the next school year?
That's a good question. That's another question that we get quite a bit. Currently, if you are a Polk 8th grader, if you are a student in the 8th grade in Polk, our county does a roll-up, and we've heard that roll-up should be happening in the next few weeks. So when that roll-up happens, you don't necessarily enroll. Okay, your name should populate under Davenport High School. Your name should populate under Ridge Community High School for next year. So we're waiting on that roll up to kind of see like what students we will have for next year.
There are a few students that don't automatically get rolled up each year. So if you're watching, if you happen to be at like a Four Corners charter or some school, a charter school outside of Polk County, then you would need to make sure that you come into one of the offices, depending on where you're zoned, to enroll for that school year. But other than that, as Mr. Douge said, they roll up automatically.
Yes, and if you are coming, please come early. Please come early. And the earlier you come, the quicker we can get you scheduled. So if you are attending a Ridgeview Global or the Four Corners School, please come early enough so we can get that squared away.
Okay. Also, another question for both of you to respond to. Will there be a time for incoming students to tour the building at either school?
Oh, good question. Don't know. In terms of that, even our orientation for this school year was virtual, and so on. So it just depends on the COVID protocol and how that, progresses, throughout the course of the year. Obviously, we would love, to have our incoming ninth graders visit the campus, give them a tour around so that they feel more comfortable for that first day. And we know that, relieves a lot of the jitters that typically happens. But again, we are at the mercy of COVID, still in terms of the limitations of having those visitors come to campus.
And same thing, I'll piggyback off that. I'd love to have parents, community members come on that Davenport campus when it's done. It's going to be a beautiful arrangement of buildings for the community in East Polk. As soon as we know, we'll definitely get that information out for the community to come tour.
So as a follow-up to that, is that going to be the same then for things like open house, orientation?
Yes, I mean, right now we are still currently, unable to host visitors onto campus, at this time. So upcoming, awards presentations or things of that nature, we're still looking at virtual options similar to tonight, because we would have typically had this event in our auditorium face-to-face where we could interact. At this time, we are still looking at virtual options until, some of those restrictions lift.
Same as well. Virtually is, this is the way we've been living, for a long time now, and we'll continue this process until we can start mixing in some natural site visits. But this is the way it is currently.
Okay. And the next question could be for either one that wants to respond. Can you explain again how zoning works? Who will go to Davenport High School and who will go to Ridge Community High School?
If you log in to polkschoolsfl.com, it's really easy to search the zone finder. If you key your address, there's a Davenport High School tab that you can click. All you have to do is just key in your current address, where you live, and it will tell you what school you're zoned for the 21-22 school year. It's a simple process. If you have any questions about if you can't get there, you can email us at davenportsenior@polk-fl.net, and we will walk you through it. But that is how I am directing our parents to see, what school they're zoned for next year.
I ditto that, because typically, you can either look at Zone Finder, or if you have a question, if you're still in zoned for Ridge Community, you can also, call our front office.
Okay, and just to extend that, the rest of the question was, are there any exceptions to the zones? Will there be any exceptions?
As of right now, Davenport High School we are a relief school. Ridge Community has 3,100 students. They are very large. Haines City is very large. So there are a number of ninth graders. If Davenport High School wasn't being built, you guys would be going to a very large Ridge Community campus. If you are zoned for Davenport High School, come on. If you're zoned for Ridge Community High School, you guys are going to have a great time there too. But we need you to come. I got to help Ms. Clark out. get some kids to Davenport because Ridge Community, Haines City are two very large schools.
Okay, and this will be our final question for the evening, and it's Mr. Douge. Will tryouts for sports teams take place prior to school starting in August? If so, do you know when and how students will get this information?
If you follow us on at Broncos DHS, a lot of what we're doing to get a lot of communication out is through our social media handle, at Broncos DHS. Ms. Clark nailed this earlier. A lot of athletic teams, you know, when school's out, you know, that's when a lot of work happens. So the best way for us to get information to you, you know, follow our social media. You can email us. You can give us a call. We do have our website is live. Our phone number is there. That's the best way we're going to be able to get you guys information currently until we are actually at our physical location.
Okay, that was our last question, so any closing remarks?
Again, I just would like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I hope we answered your questions. You know, of course, if you have further questions above and beyond this, feel free to email me, you know, and I'm sure Mr. Douge feels the same. Please check out all of our social media that we have associated with both schools. You know, I'd like to give a shout out again to all of our help here in the studio. In terms of Assistant Principal Amanda Robinson, Karen Johnson, Rhett Johnson, our social media director, Gladimar Soto, testing coordinator, and she's here for some bilingual supports if anyone out there has questions. And then, of course, you know, Mr. Frost in our mass communications department. So again, check out the RCHS app. Go ahead and download it to your phones, as that will be your best source of communication, you know, throughout this, you know, ongoing process to get you started to be a Bolt or a Bronco.
You know, thank you, Ms. Clark, for letting me be a part of this. We don't have cameras yet. I don't really have a staff yet. And Ms. Clark, she just stepped up. She said, "Come on, let's do it together." And you know, I think it's important. You know, we're gonna have a rivalry. It's gonna be competitive, obviously, but you know, just the help that she's given Davenport to get a good start next year, you know, it's definitely appreciated. I'd like to say, check your zone, please. That's the biggest piece. And if there's any questions that you guys have, you know, please reach out. We're here to help.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Education Academy. Here we learn what teachers do, how to become a teacher, and the importance of learning at every age.
In our program, Ms. Kiefer specializes on early childhood and Ms. Hanley focuses on the profession of teaching and secondary education.
As part of the Education Academy, students also have the opportunity of going into the elite program. Through this partnership with Polk State College, students have the ability of taking college courses for free and are able to graduate high school with an associate's degree.
By senior year, our students will know how to create lesson plans and teach their own group of students, whether it's with small children in Ms. Kiefer's Baby Bolts class or with secondary school students through peer tutorials and classroom teacher observations in Ms. Hanley's class. We can't wait to see you.
y'all to see this. Turn up the lights in here, baby. You know what I need. Want you to see everything. Want you to see all of the lights. Fast cars, shooting stars. All of the lights, all of the lights. Until the singers said they really are. All of the lights.
I'm dead.
At Ridge Community High School, we offer 3 main orchestras that you are welcome to be a member of. Our main orchestra for most incoming freshmen and sophomore is our Philharmonic Orchestra. You're seeing pictures of numerous performance opportunities that we take throughout each school year in each of our orchestras. And we also offer an advanced level orchestra open to students that are interested in going all the way and advancing their skills and learning new difficult music and having advanced performance opportunities. If you have more questions or like to have any comments, joshua.cleveland@polk-fl.net is how you can reach me.